We'll proceed with the points.
Yes, Your Honor. If I may just ask, we have the door closed, we have a separation of voices.
Sure.
Like we have witness sitting outside.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. My first witness will be Sharon Otterson.
Ms. Otterson, you want to step to the stand? Want to raise your right hand and be sworn, ma'am? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge? Please be seated. Yes, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sharon, can you tell us your full name, please?
Sharon M. Alderson.
Sharon, where do you live?
I live in Liberty, Indiana.
And how long have you been in Indiana? Are you currently employed?
Yes,
And where do you currently work?
I work for Northwest Indiana Special Ed Co-op.
And what do you do for Northwest Indiana Special Education Co-op?
I'm a special education teacher.
And where do you teach as a special education teacher?
Over high school.
And what are some of your duties as a special education teacher?
I'm a teacher for the emotionally disabled students.
Can you elaborate a little bit as to emotionally disabled?
All of my students have the label of emotionally disabled, but the disabilities range from being very inward and not communicating very well to behavior problems.
Now, does your occupation require you to be patient?
Yes, my co-workers describe me as that very often.
And what grades do you teach?
9 through 12.
And how long have you been there?
13 years.
Do you have any children, Sharon?
I have one son,
And how old is he?
17.
What's his name?
John Alderson.
John Otterson. Does John go to Hoover High School or same college already?
No, he goes to Over High School. He's a senior this year.
Now, let's talk about the accident. What time did the accident occur, Sharon?
It was around 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
And what did you do earlier that day?
It was a Saturday. I was cleaning house.
Was it your typical Saturday morning?
Yes,
So you work on the weekdays then?
correct.
And this Saturday is just your day that you clean house, basically?
Normally, yes.
And where were you headed to at the time of the accident?
I had just left my ex-husband's house. I had John called earlier that day asking for clothes to be dropped off.
Were you in a hurry at all?
No, I had dropped them off already and I was on my way back home to the clean house. I was on my way to my house.
Okay. Now, Sharon, let's now turn to where the accident occurred. Are you familiar with this intersection?
I'm very familiar. I had lived where I dropped the clothes off for years when I was married, and I taught at this in Upper Middle School, but it was the high school, and I was teaching there. It was just down the street.
And what's the neighborhood like around that intersection?
All residential.
Can you describe the intersection where the accident occurred for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, starting with, let's say, Washington Street? What direction does it run?
Washington runs north and south,
And how many lanes are there on Washington?
2 lanes.
Okay. Now, how about on 8th Street? How does 8th Street run?
8th Street runs east and west.
And how many lanes are there on 8th Street?
2 also.
One in each direction?
Yes.
Okay. Now, are there any shoulders on 8th Street?
No, there is the gravel area in front of the house on 8th Street, directly east of Washington.
And how wide is that gravel area?
Less than a regular lane of travel, but enough to park a car.
Do people generally park cars there from your experience traveling that area?
Yes.
It's common to see cars parked on that gravel area. Now, does the intersection have any traffic controls?
Washington Street ends at 8th Street and it has a stop sign.
So the stop sign is located at Washington Street.
Yeah.
Okay. So traffic traveling on Washington Street has to stop.
Yes.
Now, does traffic on 8th Street have any type of stop signs?
No.
Okay. Let me show you, I have a blow-up of what has been previously marked as defendant's group exhibit C. It's in your allowing the jury to be able to see better, I have blown up this exhibit.
Why don't you put it on the screen?
Your Honor, if I may use, I have a blow-up of it.
Do you have a small, so it can come up on the screen? Do you have a copy of it?
I do have a copy of it, but I believe that this copy is a little bit clearer because I specifically got it blown up.
And that's what we have that for.
I do apologize, Your Honor. I will
Okay.
be using a PowerPoint in my presentation.
All right.
Thank you. Sharon, can you see the picture that I'm showing you here?
Yes.
Now, using this picture, can you tell me what street this is right here?
That is 8th Street.
And is this the gravel parking space on the side that you were talking about earlier?
Yes.
Now, I have blown up another picture. And again, this is for the jurors to be able to see the intersection. This is a close-up of the intersection. Is this the intersection where the accident occurred, Sharon?
Yes.
And is that the stop sign that you're talking about?
Yes, it's hard to see there, but you're pointing to it.
Okay, so that's the stop sign right there. Okay, now, you said earlier that the accident occurred at 1 p.m. What was the weather like around that time, Sharon?
It was cloudy, but it wasn't raining.
Were the roads wet at that time?
Yes, it had rained just previous to that.
Now, what street were you traveling on?
That was on Washington Street.
And what direction were you going?
South.
What street was Mr. Deviak traveling on?
It was on 8th Street.
And what direction was he going?
West.
Okay. Now, you said you were traveling southbound on Washington. Tell us what happened as you approached the intersection.
As I approached the intersection, I stopped at the stop sign.
Where was the front of your car when you stopped at that stop sign?
Right around the stop sign. Right where the stop sign is.
Okay. So was the front of your car where in perspective to that stop sign?
Even with the stop sign.
What did you do after you stopped at the stop sign, Sharon?
I looked to my right. There's nothing obstructing my view. I could see quite far down the road. And there was no cars coming.
What did you do after you looked to your right and saw that there was no cars coming?
I looked to my left.
And what did you see when you looked to your left?
There was an SUV parked in the gravel, obstructing my view.
And was that you said there was an SUV parked on the gravel. Was that the only car there, or were there any other cars?
There was a car behind me also.
So what did you do after you looked to your left and you realized that your view was obstructed, that SUV was obstructing your view?
I moved forward in order to see to my left.
And how far did you move forward?
I'm not quite sure, approximately 4 feet. As I was looking to my left the entire time because that's what I could not see. But I stopped as soon as I saw the truck.
So when you moved forward, you saw the truck was coming.
Yes, and I immediately stopped.
And by the truck, you mean Mr. Deviak's truck, correct? Okay. Now, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, where was the front of your car when you stopped that second time upon seeing Mr. Deviak's truck?
It was on the edge of Washington.
So using this picture, Sharon, if you're on the edge of Washington, would that put you at about right there?
Yes, my entire car was still on Washington Street.
So right about here. You first stopped at the stop sign, you said.
Yes,
Then you move forward to be able to ascertain if you can safely enter the intersection.
correct. I was turning left.
You were turning left, sure. And upon seeing Mr. Deviak's truck, you said you stopped.
Yes, I stopped abruptly enough that I first fell off my seat.
Now, you said that the front of your vehicle was still on 8th Street, so that would put you around right there.
It was still on Washington Street.
I'm sorry, on Washington Street, sorry. So that would put you around right there? Would that be correct? Okay. How far from the intersection was Mr. Deviak when you first saw him?
It's hard hard to say. He was about halfway, the SUV that was parked there, he was about midway at the SUV when I saw him.
And what did you do after you saw him?
I stopped immediately.
And what was his reaction upon seeing him? What did you notice?
He slammed on his brakes.
And what direction, did he go any direction after he slammed on his brakes?
Yes, he was going to his right.
And was he coming straight at you, or was he going onto, the gravel road?
He was coming straight for the front of my vehicle.
So you see him coming straight at you. Where exactly are you when he's sliding towards you?
I did not move from the moment I stopped, and I have watched his vehicle the entire time.
And we talked about where the front of your vehicle was still on Washington Street.
Yes.
At any point prior to this collision, Sharon, were you on Main Street in Mr. Deviat's lane of traffic?
No.
Was the front of your vehicle in Mr. Deviat's lane of traffic?
No.
And how do you know where the front of your vehicle was, Sharon?
When after the accident occurred, I put my car in park and walked around to the front of the vehicle and saw that it was still entirely on Washington Street.
Now, where did Mr. Deviat's truck end up hitting you? Where was the impact in your car?
It was on the back half of my front driver's side tire and the fender of my car.
And where was the point of impact on his truck?
The very corner of his driver's side, front driver's side.
Now, Sharon, you stated that you were not in Mr. Deviat's lane of travel. Why do you think this accident occurred?
He must have seen me going forward, but I stopped immediately. If he thought I was going to continue going and he slammed on his brakes maybe and lost control of his car and continued in my direction.
What happened immediately after the collision, Sharon?
I put my car in park, I grabbed my phone out of my purse, got out of my car and walked around to the front of my car.
Do you know who called the police?
I did.
Now, did you talk to Mr. Deviat immediately after the collision?
Yes, I said, sir, I was not in your lane of travel.
And what did he reply?
I know.
Did you tell him anything else?
No.
What happened next, Sharon?
The police arrived.
And did you actually talk to the police?
They asked for a statement.
Did you actually give them a statement?
Yes.
Did you tell the police to lie for you?
Never. I did ask who decides who was at fault.
Sharon, were you hurt as a result of this accident?
No.
Did Mr. Deviat move his vehicle after the collision?
Yes, he did. While I was on the phone with the dispatcher, he had that crowbar out and moved the front of his car away from his tire and moved his car directly back in the same direction back into my car.
Did you tell him not to move his car?
Yes, I did. While I was on the phone with the dispatcher, I told him that we should not move our cars.
And he still moved his car?
Yes.
And this was again prior to the police arriving?
Correct.
Now, did you notice any skid marks or any markings on the road?
Yes, there were marks on, starting on 8th Street and continuing into Washington.
And you know what vehicle these skid marks came from?
The truck.
Did you reverse before this accident occurred as Mr. Deviat said you did?
No, there was no time to do so, and I was looking at his car and his truck the entire time at the sliding car thing.
When you stopped because you saw him coming down the street, where was the front of your vehicle again?
It was still on Washington Street.
Did your airbag deploy as a result of this accident?
No.
Do you have airbags?
Yes.
And did it deploy?
No.
Sharon, did he have the right of way in this intersection?
Yes, I did.
Did you yield to his vehicle?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Cross-examination.
Yes, thank you. Morning, ma'am. Ma'am, are you presently married? Are you presently married?
No, I'm not divorced.
But you were previously married.
Yes.
How many times were you previously married?
Objection, Your Honor. This is irrelevant. How is that in any way relevant, how many times she's been married before?
I'd like to know that.
Your Honor, there's this issue regarding her prior husband, her former husband, and his employment with the Hobart Police Department.
That is my answer.
Well,
We can ask about that specific marriage, but asking how many times she's been married.
I would agree. You can ask about that marriage, but
Thank you, sir.
sustained.
Well, who was your last marriage?
My husband, Tom Anderson.
When were you married to Tom Anderson?
96.
And when were you divorced?
I was born in 97 and 99.
Divorced in 1999. You still go by the last name of Anderson?
Yes, I got that name because my son was very young when we got divorced and I didn't have a different husband.
And your prior husband, your ex-husband, Tom Anderson, he was a Hobart Police Department officer, is that correct?
Yes, he's been retired for some reason.
What, you retired around 2009 or 2010?
Yes, absolutely.
How long was he on the Hobart Police Department?
And we don't know, and the Hobart police know that he's married.
So during your marriage in the late 1990s, he was on the police department in Hobart, correct?
Yes,
And he continued on there for another 10 years or so after you were divorced.
yes, that's his retirement.
And that's in fact where you were coming from at the time of this accident, is that correct?
Yes,
He lives in that neighborhood?
he did, yes.
Now, as to this intersection, you were very familiar with this place where this accident occurred, is that correct?
Yes, sometimes visiting there, dropping things off my son several times a day.
So over the years, you've been through the intersection of 8th Street and Washington Street almost on a daily basis, would you say?
Not every day, I mean, after the divorce, it was just when my son was there, I watched down the street.
And you told us already that on the day of this accident, when you pulled up to that intersection, you stopped in a position where the front of your car, the very front bumper, was even with the stop sign on Washington Street. Is that correct?
Yes, the stop sign was below the sidewalk.
Your Honor, I understand you need to activate the almost
Go ahead.
project this.
Well, no.
Judge, all you have to do is push the Elmo.
Where's that? Which one? This one?
One on the right.
Okay. Give me a second. What was he doing, Paul? Paul? Is it on? Okay. What's he got to do now?
He has it on.
Okay.
All he has to do is put his picture on there.
Put the picture under it.
There's a blue light on the
There's some photos in.
Is it working? What you tell me was that one? There's two of them?
It's just the one Elmo.
And it's this one.
Apple TV.
Okay. I pressed the wrong button. Who's that?
Hold on a second, Judge.
It's coming back. There it is. Okay.
Are you able to see that for us?
Then you can turn around and take a look at it right behind you.
Yes,
That's essentially the same photo you were showing before, correct?
correct.
And it shows the intersection of 8th Street and Washington.
Yes.
Do you know what this photograph was taken? Does that show the condition? When we talk about the road, the 2 lanes on 8th Street, the gravel shoulder area, the hedges, the sidewalk, the tree, is that all the same way as it was at the time of this accident?
Yes, except for the SUV in the car that was.
Okay, so there's no SUV in the gravel area. We talked about that. In this photograph, can you see the stop sign for southbound traffic on Washington?
There, no.
Yeah, no, I don't really see it either.
It's to the north of the sidewalk.
Okay, well, let me show you another photograph here. This is the one you were shown before as well. Now this one, that shows the stop sign, correct? That's the stop sign that you came up to when you're driving southbound on Washington up to the 8th Street intersection. So you said you stopped and your vehicle is about even with that stop sign in front of your vehicle. Now when you look at that photograph, that stop sign, well, do you see the sidewalk in that photograph?
Yes.
Okay. The sidewalk is about 5 or 6 feet wide. Do you agree on that?
The sidewalk
The
is
sidewalk.
that wide?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's that wide.
Oh, how wide do you think a standard sidewalk is?
3.5, 4 feet.
That's it?
Yes, and
Okay, well, you've never measured that sidewalk, have you?
no.
Do you think a standard sidewalk that is in front of any of those houses is only 3.5 feet wide or so?
4 feet maybe.
Well, and then you see, so you got the sidewalk there, and then you have the stop sign. The stop sign is at least the width of the sidewalk itself as far as how far it is from the sidewalk, correct? And maybe 2 widths of the sidewalk from where the edge of the sidewalk is to where the stop sign is. Would you agree with that? More than one, definitely. Yes. And where you're seated in your vehicle, first of all, that's you're driving a Dodge, is that correct?
That's a Dodge Lincoln.
And that's a full-size SUV.
Yes.
That's, how would you say, that's probably about 15 feet from the front of the car to the rear bumper. Would you agree with that? 189 inches, 189.5 inches.
Approximately, when measured out.
How far is it from the front bumper of your vehicle to where you're seated in your driver's seat?
1.5, 5 feet.
So when you come up to that stop sign and make your original stop, you're at least 10 feet where you're seated in your vehicle. You're at least 10 feet from the edge of the sidewalk closest to you, correct?
Probably about that.
Now, get back to this other photograph. So when you're stopped there, and your position is about 10 feet north of the sidewalk edge closest to you, that to your immediate left are those hedges, is that correct? And there's also, you can see in that photograph, there's even a tree to your left hanging over the hedges. You see that? Turn to this right here.
Yes, I don't, it was years ago. I don't know when the photo was taken, if the tree got bigger, I don't know.
Okay.
That was,
Oh, do you remember the tree being?
yes, I know there's a tree there.
And then you also told us that when you come to that stop and the front of your vehicle is even with the stop sign, you're able to see a vehicle that's stopped in this gravel area, correct?
Yes.
And where is that vehicle that stopped in the gravel or parked in the gravel area? Is it about even with the tree? In this
No,
area
it's-
somewhere?
Probably a few feet back from the hedges.
Okay, well, when you say a
To
few
the
feet.
east of the hedges, where the hedges are.
Okay, well, the hedges end right at the sidewalk, is that correct?
Yes, I'm talking about east and west coast.
Okay, and then, well, talking about the hedges actually came over the sidewalk, isn't it?
Slightly,
the case?
yes.
And when you say that the SUV, I'm not understanding, where is the SUV in relationship to the hedges?
It's a few feet east of where the hedges end on Washington.
So in this area, you say?
No, closer to Washington.
Okay,
All the
so
way to Washington.
all the way at this end,
Yes.
and you say it's past the hedges, well, the hedges go all the way to the intersection.
Not to the west of the hedges, to the east of the hedges. So
Okay,
it's
so it's just to the east of where the hedges end at the street.
correct.
So, what distance would you say that the SUV is from Washington Street?
The street itself, not sure, maybe 15 feet, probably less than that, 10 feet from the street.
And so when you come to your stop again, you look to your left, you see the hedges are right there next to you, correct?
I look to my right first.
Okay, I'm talking about you look to your right, then when you look to your left, you see the hedges are there, correct?
More so the SUV that was blocking my view.
Okay. And after seeing that, the SUV, you decide to move forward.
Yes, in order to see if there was traffic coming.
How do you do that? Do you just take your foot off the brake pedal and coast forward, or do you put your foot onto the accelerator? How do you move forward?
My car doesn't move unless you give it a little gas, so it will stay there. So I did put my foot on the gas and move forward. Always looking to my left to see if there are oncoming traffic.
Okay, so the entire time that you're moving forward, you continue to look to your left.
Correct.
And how long is it from the time you start to move to the time you first see Mr. Devian coming towards that intersection?
Seconds.
1 or 2 seconds?
If that, I mean, it was just, I was moving forward, looking left. Immediately when I saw him, I stepped on the brake.
And then, once you hit your brakes, how long is it from the time you step on the brakes to stop your car to the time that the collision occurs?
A matter of seconds.
A few seconds?
Yes.
More than 3?
It's hard to tell in that moment. I wasn't I stopped immediately and I saw him slam on his brakes and I watched his vehicle the entire time and he was coming towards me.
How far was his vehicle from you when you first saw it?
Like I said, it was about midway at the SUV.
So a little more than the 15 feet that the SUV was away from you?
Yes.
15 to 20 feet? And then during those few seconds between the time you stop and you see, on seeing Mr. Devian coming towards you and the collision, what do you do?
My car stopped. I did not. I remember the feeling you get that you're going to get in an accident. And then there was almost a relief that, oh, he's just going to stay on his road and we're going to avoid this.
Well, how soon after you first saw him did you realize he was coming off the road?
He immediately, upon stepping on his brake, veered to his right.
So you see him coming towards you, and almost immediately upon seeing him, you realize that he's braking. Do you know how fast he was going before he hit the brakes?
I didn't see him before he was hitting the brakes.
So the first time you saw him, he actually was braking or slowing down. continues on towards you that 20 feet or so. And that's maybe 3 seconds or so from the time you first see him to the actual collision.
Like I said, I'm not sure on the time, it was just seconds, so.
And during those 3 seconds, you just stay in the same spot you were, foot on the brake, right? Did you realize that as soon as you saw him and he started braking, that there was going to be a collision?
Like I said, at first, you get the feeling like, there's going to be an accident. But then I don't know if it was close, he's just gonna stay on his road and not hit me.
Okay, so you thought he was going to go back on the road because you saw him coming off the road when you first saw him.
Towards me, yes.
Did you come to a complete stop then before there was any collision?
Yes.
And where's your vehicle?
The back of the back half of the driver's side tire and the fender lights behind the back.
Now, after the accident, the police came to the scene, is that correct?
No problem.
And did you know the police officer who responded to this accident?
No.
Did you come to know who it was? Did just one officer respond to this call?
I believe there was another car there.
Was the second officer who came to the scene?
I believe so.
Was the first officer the one, to your knowledge, who wrote the report?
I believe so, yes.
Are you familiar with what a police report looks like?
Yes, I read it.
You read the one in this, regarding this incident?
Yes.
Were you familiar with police reports prior to that time? Were you aware that there's a box on a police report where a police officer checks off who he believes to be at fault in causing an accident?
I believe I asked someone else, and they told me one vehicle, one vehicle two, which one was supposed to be at fault.
So you came to understand that whoever was identified as vehicle one on a police report was the one the police officer was believing to be at fault.
After I picked the report up, yes.
So you knew that as part of the police report, an assessment would be made as far as whose fault this is.
Objection, Your Honor. This line of questioning calls for hearsay.
I'm not asking anything about what the report actually states. I'm asking her knowledge of what the reports are in general. Right? So you're aware that a police report does indicate that police officer's opinion as to whose fault the accident was.
I asked the police officer who decided who's at fault.
Well, then you had an understanding that there was going to be some assessment or some determination on the report as to whose fault this accident was.
I did, that's why I asked them.
Okay, but after that conversation, you came to have that understanding.
Yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Redirect?
Yes, please.
Are we done with this, Elmo?
Yeah. Paul, I'm just going to move it in. Is that okay?
I'll turn it off.
Okay.
Just hit the symbol.
Sharon, did your ex-husband show up at the scene the day of the accident? Did he have anything to do with the investigation of this accident?
She involves some speculation on what she plans to do.
If
Your
she,
Honor,
if she knows.
do you know if he had anything to do with the investigation of this police report?
I don't believe so. I never spoke to him about the accident.
Did you contact your ex-husband at all and ask him anything about the investigation?
No, we learned about the accident from his son.
Now, did you take a tape measure the day of the accident, maybe after, or any other day to measure out how long the distance was of the stop sign to the front of 8th Street or anything like that? No. You're just estimating. And where was the front of your vehicle when the accident occurred?
It was on the edge of Washington.
Were you in this lane of traffic?
Never.
Nothing further.
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. Whoops, excuse me, wait, Sherry has some questions, I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your opportunity to ask any questions of this witness if you so desire. Please place your questions in the basket that the bailiff will pass around. Even if you don't have a question, put a sheet in the basket.